Okay, so I'll start by introducing our first speaker now is Arun Shankar, who is a PhD research scholar at the SGS Medical College and the King Edward Memorial Hospital in Mumbai, and he works in the lab of Dr. Rakhi Tripathi. Arun is also an amateur astronomer, a science communicator, and a trekker. And today he's going to be talking about an evaluation of anti-Parkinson's activity of Herbomineral Abhrak bhasma on Rotenone-induced Parkinson's disease in Drosophila melanogaster. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Elaine. So I'll just start with my sharing.
Your volume is down again.
Okay. Am I clear now?
Yeah.
Okay. A warm welcome to all of you. So my name is Arun Shankar and I'm a PhD student from KEM Hospital in Mumbai in India. So I am here to present my topic titled Evaluation of Anti-Parkinson's Activity of Herbomineral Abhrak bhasma, which is an Ayurvedic drug on Rotenone-induced Parkinson's disease in Drosophila melanogaster. So in spite of all the advancement in technology and research activities in Parkinson's, no cure or therapeutic drug has been yet found which can completely stop the disease. So the treatments which are available right now, they only act on the symptoms. So there are no drugs which reverses or slows down the progression of the disease. So we decided to have a look into the traditional Indian medicine system known as Ayurveda. The reason for going for Ayurveda is very commonly used in India, and more than 10 crore people or 10 million people use Ayurveda in India. So basically, Ayurveda majorly consists of either using herbal drugs for treatment or herbomineral drugs for treatments. Now, the herbomineral drugs are a mixture of metals and herbs, and they are claimed to be non-toxic and nanoparticle in size if you look at the Ayurvedic literatures or the references. So these drugs have been used since centuries, but there are very few scientific data claiming their non-toxic nature. So we decided to use a drug called as Abhrak bhasma, which is made up of mica, and it is treated with herbs to form a herbomineral called as Abhrak bhasma. Now, when any researcher looks at such drugs, the main concern that anyone would have is the toxicity due to metals present when we prepare the drug. So a toxicity study was first carried out on Swiss albino mice. Then a physicochemical analysis was carried out of the drug. I mean, the drug was completely analyzed using modern parameters in collaboration with IIT Bombay, which is one of the topmost research institutes in India. And we concluded that the drug is non-toxic and it is indeed nanoparticle in structure. Now, the organism which we used for our study was Drosophila melanogaster. It is commonly known as fruit fly. The chemical which we used to induce Parkinson's disease was Rotenone. Now, the Rotenone, it acts on the F1 particles of the mitochondria, which leads to the loss of dopaminergic neurons in Drosophila brain, leading to loss of motor ability in flies, and also it leads to reduction in the dopamine level in Drosophila brain. So, and the concentration of the drug was carried out after undergoing an extensive study of viability assay in our lab. The variables which we used to check for Parkinson's disease was climbing assay, from which we'll get to know about the climbing activity or the motor ability of the fly, dopamine estimation of Drosophila brain, protein estimation, and malondialdehyde and glutathione estimation. Now, this is the model which I used. In this, I had 4 separate groups. One was the control group, which had healthy flies. The other was the disease group, in which the Drosophila was fed with Rotenone for a period of 7 days, and the concentration used was 250 micromolar. The third group was positive control, wherein the disease was induced, and along with the inducing agent, L-DOPA was given, which is a golden standard for Parkinson's disease. And in my final group of study group, I used the herbomineral at a concentration of 0.25% of the total medium. Now, and on the 8th day, we carried out certain parameters such as the climbing assay and estimation of dopamine and protein levels. So it was clearly observed that there was a marked or significant improvement in the climbing assay, in the motor ability of the Drosophila flies in the group where the Abhrak bhasma or the Herbomineral was given. And there was a significant improvement in neurotransmitter level also. The dopamine levels were estimated using HPLC, and there was a significant difference when we compared it with the disease control group. And when we look at the inflammatory markers, there was an increased or an improvement in the malondialdehyde and the glutathione levels in the groups which were fed with the Abhrak Basma group or the Herbomineral group, and also a protein level was observed to be improved in the study drug group. Now, certain parameters are being standardized in our lab to further study the Parkinson's model, and these are flow cytometric assays to check for the measurement of reactive oxygen species generation. We are also planning an experiment and standardizing photoluminescence assay, wherein we will be looking at the ATP activity of the mitochondrial cells. And we are also undergoing immunohistochemistry of dopaminergic neurons of Drosophila brain. Now, the following conclusions were made after carrying out the assays. It clearly showed that the Abhrak Basma or the Herbomineral group helped the Drosophila flies to restore its motor ability. It also helped to increase the level of dopamine levels in the steady drug group when compared with the Rotenone or the disease control group. There was also an improvement in the malondialdehyde and glutathione, suggesting that there is an anti-inflammatory property of the drug. And this also proved that the Abhrak Bhasma or the Herbomineral drug can be used as a potential drug for treatment of Parkinson's disease, but further studies are required to validate the claim. Thank you for going to for listening to my talk. And also, I would like to add 2 or 3 more points regarding this thing. It is very important to look into the new systems when we are unable to find out a therapeutic drug for any particular disease. And when we especially look at the traditional medicines of India or any South Asian drugs, it is very important to check for its toxicity, because metals are very commonly used in those drugs. And scientifically proving that it is non-toxic and it has a very good efficacy will be a big boon in countries like India, because these drugs are very commonly used, and there are millions of people who depend on such drugs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arun, for a wonderful talk. So I'll wait for any questions to come in. So remember, please, if you'd like to ask your question on screen, then type on screen beside your question, or I'd be happy to read it for you. So maybe while we wait for questions, Arun, could you elaborate a bit on the neural mechanisms of the Herbomineral drug?
Actually, that's an area which I really want to focus on. The problem is that these Herbomineral drugs or the Ayurvedic drugs, they have been used since centuries, since thousands of years, but it's purely based on the Ayurvedic literatures. There are no scientific data available on the same. So right now we are trying various methods on animal models first, and we're also planning to work on stem cell cultures to learn more about the activity, how it acts on the nervous system and all these things. So it's an ongoing study.
Cool. Okay. And would you like to maybe discuss the possible benefits of the drug over L-Dopa, which is the standard treatment?
Yeah, if the drug is really beneficial and it is non-toxic and it has a good efficacy as claimed by the literatures, the good thing will be that its main thing is it is a nanoparticle. So it can easily cross the blood-brain barrier and reach the brain more quicker and more efficiently as compared to L-Dopa. And the second thing is a very minute amount of drug is required. Like if you compare, when you give L-Dopa, majority of the drug doesn't reach the brain. But when you give Herbomineral, it has been proved in certain studies that it almost 90% of the drug which we have, it reaches the brain. So it has got a higher level of crossing the blood-brain barrier, which leads to lesser amount being introduced into the person, and it is cost beneficial. And it can also be, what do you say, it's the main reason is cost benefits, because India as such is not quite a rich, it's a middle class country. So there are lots of economic problems over here. So these drugs, they're very economic, and if it is really beneficial, it will really help the lower middle class family and the poor family in the long run.
And I was wondering, are there any, sorry, I don't know if I pronounce it right, but any Ayurveda drugs that have been tested with human participants in any other neurodegenerative diseases?
There have been studies on cancer using Ayurvedic drugs, but on neurodegenerative disease, I don't think there have been much drugs tested. They mostly test herbal drugs. There have been studies of herbal drugs on animal models, on rats and mice, and since last 2 to 3 years, studies have started coming up on stem cells and tissue cultures. But it's like it will take more 10 to 15 years to get a proper idea of all these studies. Plenty of studies haven't been published yet. That's the major problem.
That's great. Okay. Well, if there's no questions from the audience, then we might move on to the next speaker. Thank you very much, Arun, again. It was an excellent talk.